Relationships are on everyone's minds this time of year with Valentine's Day, but emotional health and relationships should be something we foster all year long. Dr. Bryan from Pfeiffer Institute Reach is here. And Dr. Bryan, many people think about getting engaged or married, especially this time of year. Do you recommend premarital counseling?
I do, actually, and you're right. This is a time of year where everybody's thinking about relationships and how glorious and wonderful they are, and they are, but that doesn't mean that there aren't things that you don't need to talk about, kind of review before you make that sort of a big commitment. So in premarital work, what we're going to do is try to address some of the topics maybe that are hard for you to come up with, maybe hard to address just the two of you, and it's a way to kind of have a third party there, maybe asking the questions that you didn't dare and finding out more and more about each other.
Because being in love can cloud things, right?
Exactly. And that's a great feeling. It is. And I wouldn't ever want to discourage anybody from it. But it's not a basis for forming a marriage. And so trying to get at the issues that help make for a healthy relationship in premarital counseling, that way you start off with a really firm foundation.
A good base. Now, for married couples, what are some things that you can do to build closeness with your partner?
Right, and so this is something maybe once you get married, you don't think about enhancing your relationship, that you could build even further on what you've already got.
Exactly. Once the nuptials are over, right?
Exactly, and really that's just the beginning. And so no matter how long you've been together, there are things that you can do, things that you can pay attention to that will help you make that foundation even stronger as you go along. So things like setting aside time as a couple. We get really, really busy these days, and you're so busy going back and forth from one thing to the next, but setting aside time where you talk about your hopes and dreams about each other and where you're going to go forward from here. And so Valentine's Day, I think, is a day where we set aside this one day out of, over 300 to talk about our relationships. Do it once a week instead.
Yeah. Now, what about single people? Sometimes they feel left out, a lot of times.
Definitely, and Valentine seems to be all about couples, but it doesn't have to be, because just because you're not maybe in a committed romantic relationship doesn't mean you don't have relationships that you can't value on a day like this. So to set aside time to spend maybe with close friends that, again, have gotten left out in all the hustle and bustle, or with family, or maybe if you're the kind of person who's been focused on other people all year long, maybe Valentine's Day is your day to focus on my relationship with myself and have I been taking good care of myself.
And you can really get a full assessment by visiting one of your therapists at the Institute. So tell us how people can get involved if they feel like they really need to dig deeper.
Okay. Yes, the Pfeiffer Institute Reach is definitely there for people kind of at whatever phase of your relationship or singlehood that you are. All you have to do is call. We'll take some brief information from you over the phone. You set up an appointment. You come in, get to talk with somebody about what's going on, somebody who's trained to ask the right kinds of questions to help you think through what it is that you want to do. We have a flat fee of $30 a session, cash
which
or
is
check.
cheaper than most copays.
Exactly. I mean,
wonderful.
It's when you think about the benefit that you can get out of it, it's well worth it. And we're open on afternoons, evenings, weekends. We try to make ourselves as accessible as possible so that in that busy schedule, you can set aside the time that you need.
Excellent. All right, Dr. Bryan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And for more information about how you can get help for you and your family and your relationships, just go to pfeifferreach.org.